And welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to take a look at a brand new video between the Democrats and the Republicans in the United States governorships. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. By the way, today Hong Kong, where I live, is voting for their new House of Representatives or Parliament. So it's interesting to see how that one would turn out, but let's get right into the video. Let's start with the safe states for both parties. Idaho, Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, and the state of Vermont are all considered, and New Hampshire are all considered safe for the Republicans. That brings them up to 17 gubernatorialships in the United States governorships. Now for the Democrats, the state of California, the state of Maryland, the state of Massachusetts, because I believe Charlie Baker will lose his primary. He has said that he will not run anyway, so it doesn't matter. The state of Hawaii, and I believe that's it, honestly. So yes, Democrats get nine governorships, including the safe states and the states that are not up for re-election. Now for the Republicans, for likely Republican seats. First of all, my margins are in the description down below, but be sure to subscribe to my channel. The state of Kansas, the state of Texas, the state of South Carolina are considered safe, likely for the Republicans, as well as that the state of Alaska are considered likely for the Republicans. Iowa and Ohio, those states are also likely for the Republicans. I believe Florida at this point, Ron DeSantis probably wins by a likely margin. And I believe that's it, but I almost forgot the state of Virginia is total Republican. And the state of New Jersey is leading Democrat. We're just going to get that out of the way because the elections have already been decided there. So Republicans already hold 25 seats, which at least prevents the Democrats from getting the majority, and we haven't even discussed the lean and still Republican states. If we look at all the states here, I think most of these are pretty unsurprising. I mean, Kansas will actually be a flip from the Democratic column. Chris Kobach was just very unpopular, but he's expected to win. Laura Kelly is expected to lose due to polarization and the fact that Chris Kobach, there's not a single nominee that is worse than Chris Kobach at this point, and I think the Republicans will win handily by like 5 to 10 points at least, possibly even in the double-digit range. So yes. Now for the likely Democratic states, I think Oregon, at this point, the state of Colorado, the state of Illinois, the state of New York, and the state of Rhode Island. I believe those states will be considered likely for the Democratic Party. I don't think any of them are too surprising. You may disagree with the margins. Maybe you think New York will be put as safe. Maybe you think Rhode Island will be put as safe. Maybe you think California will be put as likely. Now, there's a few disputable margins, but I think it's pretty agreeable that all of these states will go in that direction at this point. If we look at Oregon, Kate Brown is not a popular incumbent, but she should win in a state that voted for Joe Biden by 16 points. I think the margin will be very close, fairly close, but I think the Democrats will still end up winning it by likely a margin. Illinois, J.B. Pritzker probably receives a relatively strong challenge. However, I still think that he's probably going to end up winning anyway. So, if we look at Rhode Island, I think it will be closer, but still I do believe the Democrats will end up, winning the state of Rhode Island. And New York, Andrew Cuomo had to resign due to the sex scandal, but I still think that the Democrats probably there to have a margin cut in almost half, but at this point the Democrats are still going to win the state. Going to the lead Republican states, we have quite a few here: Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, and the state of Michigan. I think these states will be considered lead for the Republicans. At this point, I believe, there's going to be two flips. Wisconsin and Michigan, Arizona and Georgia will be two holds for the Republican Party. Interesting enough, Wisconsin and Michigan actually went both red previously they were both flips, but the incumbent in Michigan retired in the state, and in Wisconsin, Scott Walker lost very narrowly. I believe the Democrats would end up losing the state of Wisconsin because Tony Evers is just, at this point, it's still a very competitive state and only went to Biden by 0.7 points and trending red. So it makes sense that this race is probably going to go to the Republicans. In Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer won by 10, but that's in large part thanks to the fact that Bill Schurz is probably not the best Republican nominee. I think that the Democrats are just not going to have the energy factor, and I think the Republicans should be able to run somewhat strong and end up winning. I forgot probably the Republican nominee's name, but you get the point. I think the Republicans are going to handily win the race. Not handily, but at least win it by like 1 percentage point. For lead Democratic states, I think New Mexico at this point is a lead for Democrats. The state of Connecticut probably still goes lead for Democrats, as well as that Minnesota and the state of Maine. I think these states will be considered lead for the Democrats. If we look at all those races, I believe all of them went to Joe Biden in 2020 election by various margins. In Minnesota by 7, in the state of Connecticut by over 15 points. Let's start by the states I think will probably be the safest for Democrats, and I think that should be the state of Connecticut. Connecticut went to Joe Biden by over 20 percentage points. However, Ned Lamont only won re-election by 3 points. However, he is a little bit more popular right now than he was previously, so that's why he's probably still going to win re-election. Now, if we look at the state of Minnesota, Tim Walz won by 11 points. However, I do believe the margin will go down for her significantly because Tim Walz is not, just because of the energy factor, I think the Republicans should be able to pull this off. And the rural areas were simply not going too well for Jeff Johnson. I believe Jeff Johnson did not do very well in the rural areas. I think in the Trump era, the Republicans will do much better in the rural areas. If we have the Minnesota race look like this in the rural areas, I mean, in this portion of the state, like 4 counties are blue, and in this election, only one of those counties went blue, and all the other counties went red. And by some very large margin, you can see by 75 percentage points. The reddest county you can find on this map is 68 percentage points. So I think the Republicans will do much better in rural areas in Minnesota. And if we look at New Mexico, So the Democrat there had some scandals. Michelle Lujan Grisham actually won by close to 50 points, but the margin is going to go down significantly due to those scandals and due to the energy factor, simply not going to Democrats. In the final 2 states, the state of Pennsylvania and the state of Nevada, I'm going to side with the Republicans in Pennsylvania. I believe Tom Wolf's retirement really does tell us, no, he's terminated, he's not because he don't think he's going to win re-election or something like that, but Tom Wolf probably left the Democrats on a good note for the state, but in the end, just the margins in a lot of these areas are just not going to be too good for Democrats. I think that makes sense at this point due to the national environment. Biden is rebounding a little bit, but ultimately that's not going to be enough. I think most people realize that. So yeah. Now finally going to the state of Nevada, I still cite that with the Republicans. There's actually better news for the Republicans. Last time I gave it to the Democrats, but I just don't think Steve Sisolak honestly would do that well. I mean, he only won by 40,000 votes, less than 40,000 votes. So if he loses Clark County, Marshall County, which I believe he would, and then lose some of his votes in Clark County, a few of them. I think you're going to be talking about Red Nevada. As Joe Biden barely won the state, he only won the state by 2.4 percentage points. Gene Sisolak won by a margin of only 4 points. So, do better than Biden, but not good enough. So, I do believe in the end, Nevada goes blue. Alright, so thanks. No, Nevada goes red. So, thanks for watching today's video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and basically write a comment telling me how well I did in this video. What things do you think went right? What things do you think in my prediction was wrong? So thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.